Hi.
They might anyway, guys.
This is true. This is
What do
true.
they do? You don't want to know that conversation.
It is good evening and good morning.
Yes. Or good day.
There he is, first one of the day.
Good day.
Happy, for those here in the United States, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
To our guest joining us today, happy Wednesday.
That's right. That's right.
It's a little weird. It's a little different energy at night.
Yeah,
It's a very different.
I was a little worried. I was gonna struggle a little bit. So I don't know. I still may.
Well, it's getting close to our bedtime.
Well, you're not drinking. You know,
All right.
it's not like
Why bring that up?
It's not like our Cinco de Mayo show where we sat at
You
the
make
bar
one,
and you were drinking.
2 mistakes, and it becomes your legacy.
No,
Don't I know
wrong.
it? Don't I know it?
These are not mistakes.
Don't I know it?
You get called out on them. We don't really get called out on those.
No, well, yeah.
Well,
He
there
gets-
was only one
yeah.
person that kept calling me out.
Yes.
When I give useless information, what do you expect? I can't be right all the time. So,
Well, welcome. It's Live from Raps, episode 146.
Somebody's keeping track. That's good.
146.
Yeah,
What if we should do something for 150? I
Yeah.
think we should do
Yes.
Yes. Wow. That's like a Google.
It's been a long journey to get to 146.
It has
Yeah.
been a long journey.
Let alone 4 more. I mean, it's only 4 more away at
It's only 4 more. It'll be like a month away.
Yeah.
We hit 100 before when we had we had no indoor dining. We were outdoor dining because we were bringing the show al fresco. We were eating out. We were at Pasticceria Bruno out on Forest Avenue. We had a big struggle day that day with
That was
internet service, but it was a fantastic meal.
Oh, yeah, that was
So it is nice. It's nice, Joe. It's nice to have you
Thank you.
back on the set.
It's good to
Yeah.
be back. It's good to be back, and I have to tell you, I kept thinking that today was Monday because of the holiday yesterday.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
kind of.
aren't we bowling tonight? Oh no, it's Tuesday.
Yes, we bowl.
No, but we bowl next Monday. We come back and bowl.
You know, I am supposed to be bowling,
I know.
And as I am.
and I did bowl. I bowled one game.
You
I
actually
shot
did.
240 the first game.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I didn't go on any pots or be eliminated because I wasn't even finished.
We're gonna finish.
I did bowl 3 frames for the second game.
Oh, there you go.
We needed a lead a lineup.
I hope you were clean. The 3
I was.
Oh, there you go.
I am not the clean. Oh no, actually, if we had a clean 50 tonight, I actually still have it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, because you have 20 volts and everything.
Okay,
20
bucks.
You're clean.
You try to collect on that. You let me know how that works.
Tonight we are prime time because we have an awesome special guest with us tonight who's
So
back.
We
excited.
do.
Second time
Second
around.
time, repeat performance.
100 plus episodes later.
He didn't learn his lesson the first time, so he's back.
He said he'd come back, and now he is still home. So when he wasn't home, he's back home. We'll talk a little about that,
Yeah, we'll
but
touch on
he's back home in the same place we left him the last time he was with us.
Yeah.
The one and only Jason Belmonte's with us, and our viewers tonight have a chance to win a Storm bowling ball.
Ooh. Wow.
Bowling prize pack,
The goodie
bowling
giveaway.
ball, and some other stuff. The last time we did that, our good friend Tony Everett won,
Yes, you did.
and everybody will have a chance
That's right.
during tonight's
Awesome.
show.
Hound dog.
We will ask our guests for a secret word to
Right.
share that you will need for a chance to win.
Mhm.
Donna likes the bowling ball raffles and she's won a lot of these over.
Yeah, she's a lucky chick.
Yeah.
She's a lucky chick.
So quick, just a little recap. We were live a few times this past week.
Yeah, it was a busy week.
Friday night
And
we
we were.
It was.
all over.
Friday night the Staten Island USBC hosted the annual championship awards dinner and Hall of
Hall of
Fame.
Fame
Great
presentation.
time. Yeah, it was awesome.
You remember that, right?
I do.
I remember. Oh, do you?
I remember it, Frank.
Okay.
I remember.
Naz had a good time. Naz
Naz had an extremely good time.
3 new inductees in the Staten Island USBC Hall of Fame. Once
It was.
again,
It was
congratulations.
actually a great night,
Yeah.
and it was really nice to have so many of the guests and people who have never been to the dinner before
Yes.
come up at the end of the night and talk about what a great time they've had.
It was a great
And
time.
you know, tell them, listen, you don't have to be a winner to come.
That's right.
You're looking for a night out, and
Come support the bowling community.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It
Yeah, it was a
really
good
was a
time.
lot of fun.
The young ones too. The youngsters. A lot of the youngsters showed up. It was good.
You know, I think what adds to that is the fact that you've been pent up, and it was the first time that
Oh.
we could be together. And
I think that might have had something to do
it
with
just wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't indoor dining. It was a party. We got to celebrate. We got to see people we haven't. Now, if you haven't bowled, you can get to see these people all year long.
Right.
So it really was a nice time.
It was.
Kudos, Nazareth and Lori.
Great job
putting that together. And then, of course, I was a recipient of a recognition, but I mean, it was like winning a daytime Emmy. I didn't bring it. It's not here. It's in the pro shop. But I would display it. But we wanted
the
to
next show.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was a lot of fun. As Noni just said, it was awesome. It was awesome.
She had a good time.
That table in particular had a.
They had a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun.
And then the other exciting stuff this past week, as some of you already know, we went to 100% capacity. We're both. So we have this like internal bet about when leagues are going to finish because we've been bowling every other pair all these
with all this extra room and
now nobody knows how to give lane courtesy.
It could be a problem.
Yeah, that happens to me just now. So I don't care. I just go.
I know.
It's been so we're bowling next to each other with or without
masks. We should probably do make a little video and show it before every.
We should do a PSA.
Yeah, should just teach people in general.
Not to get off track because we got Jason waiting, but our league now, when we come back on Monday, are we going back to 8:30 or are we staying at 9:30?
We're probably going to go back to 8:30. We're discussing whether we make that happen this week or the following week.
Yeah, so
we need time on that.
Be patient. We've been giving each of the leagues options whether they wanted to go side by side or keep skipping pairs.
Okay.
In some cases, this is the final week. So the final week for Friday is taking place. They're going to finish separated.
Good.
Sunday night's got 1 week left. The same thing. Just about every other league has opted to pull next to each other. Everybody's been excited.
Good.
As long as everybody's aware of their surroundings.
Right.
It's a really good place.
You have to know.
So
you have to know. Put your thinking cap on. And you have to know.
Joe, speaking of caps, I noticed you are sporting your Knicks cap tonight.
Sporting the Knicks cap.
And it looks like,
I know.
I'm not wishing anything on it.
Know.
This is the first time there's been excitement for New York
Oh,
basketball in a very long time. I mean, the Nets have had some recent success.
The Nets,
but the Knicks.
Yeah, it's been a while for the Knicks. But you know what? Atlanta, a little bit of a better team. I know they finished with the same record and the Knicks had the highest seed, but the Vegas bookmakers had the Hawks as the favorites to win the series. So, the Knicks are good, but the inexperience right now, I think, maybe adding 1 or 2 more players, I think the Knicks will be back. As our friend John Canini said, they'll be back next year and hopefully for many years to come. But right now, the inexperience, I think, is just hurting them, and they're a little bit deer in the headlights right now.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see that maybe they're putting some of that bad karma of pests.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, the bad juju.
Yeah.
They got to get rid of the bad juju. The Garden is where it needs to happen. It's the mecca of sports. Madison Square Garden needs to be rocking. And the Knicks need to be winning.
All right.
Maybe that's. I can't wait to get back to the Garden just for something.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Billy
Concerts
Joel.
are coming.
Billy Joel.
Concerts are coming. Phil Collins.
Yes.
So many concerts. I can't even.
Anyway.
My head is full.
And not about us, because we've been doing this for 145 episodes.
Correct. And they're sick of hearing about
it. And we've been doing a lot of that lately. Coming to whenever we can. But our guest, Jason Belmonte, is here with us. Jason, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, guys. How are you? You doing okay?
Very good.
We're all good.
That's a loaded question.
Oh, thanks for having me on your special 146th episode. Congrats to you guys. That's a lot of shows to commit to. So you should be pretty proud of yourselves.
We really didn't commit to it.
We got renewed. It was supposed to be a short-term thing.
Yes.
It turned into forget it.
Yeah.
It just turned into continuing into doing whatever we're doing.
It just keeps going.
But you know what? It's been fun. I mean, for the most part, it's been fun. And now we've been trying to do this on a weekly basis. It's not really happening, so we try to insert special shows. And I mean, the support has been great.
Yes.
We've had over about 700,000 views during this time, and everybody's been pretty cool. So, Jason, welcome back. If you have questions for Jason, drop them in the comments because we'll be sure to ask them.
We got a couple already.
We do. So I want to start, Jason. Last time we checked in on you, this was in the beginning of the pandemic, beginning of lockdown. I think we really didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 2 weeks. You guys are certainly handling it much different than we were here in the States, as you are today. Just backtrack a little bit. One, how are you and your family holding up?
Yeah, we're doing great. The town that I live in, it's a really small little country town, about 3.5 hours from the middle of Sydney. So we're pretty isolated and pretty. I don't want to use the word safe because there are 1,000 other things that could go wrong out here. But from the pandemic, we're a little bit more distant from any of the major metropolitan cities. And Australia has been doing really well. Occasionally there'll be like a small outbreak, and I say outbreak, it's 10 cases because of international traveler, and during their quarantining, something went wrong. A maid or a hotel guest staff member, someone happens to come into contact and we get a little bit of an outbreak. But for the most part, we've done really well here to keep it at bay, but it hasn't been without a lot of sacrifice. So hopefully the end of the tunnel for not just Oz, but for the whole world is approaching, and we can get back to at least some kind of normality. I will say that the world's hygiene will definitely be better since this pandemic. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Our hands have never been so clean.
Never, ever have my hands, my children's hands, and everyone that I meet's hands been so clean. So that's the positive.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because we've been saying all along that we've lost faith in humanity, that we have to tell people to wash their damn hands. And, it's so sad, but it's so true. Yeah. And, you think of, and I hate to say this about bowling, but you think about bowling, I mean, we're especially league night. You're eating, you're drinking, everybody's putting their hands out, you touch everybody and everything.
Yeah. Money, touching money.
Yeah, and it does make you think. Yeah. And this year certainly has taught us a lot about it. I've noticed, now I have to say, I've noticed a few less sticky people, but we've been wearing masks, so
maybe now that the masks are off, the stink will come back.
True. And more importantly, congratulations that you guys are expecting, right? And,
we are, yeah. We're a couple of weeks away, so looking forward to that. Having a new addition to the 3 that I already have, and I'd like to publicly say 4 will be it. There'll be no more. Sorry, Kimberly, I've announced it publicly. We're only having 4.
You heard it here, folks.
Well, you never know. It could be another pandemic, because it seems like you were keeping busy during the pandemic.
Yeah, please, dear God, don't let there be another pandemic then.
For so many different reasons. And another new bowler in the world. Yeah, really exciting. Yeah, awesome. So you've had some journey this year between traveling, staying put, having to quarantine, and you've shared a lot of that, and it's been interesting to watch, and people have been amazingly supportive. But what has that really been like for you? You're so used to traveling so much, then staying put for a longer period of time, and then going back home. Now, I mean, you went back and forth, and then you come home and you lock yourself in the hotel room for 2 weeks. Take that.
Look, this season, it's weird when you look at it on paper. It doesn't look great. I had a show at the TOC and didn't perform very well there, and then just a lot of cuts and just average performances for my expectations and my fans' expectations. But it just goes to show you just how difficult the PBA Tour really is. I mean, I look back at the success that I had and the runs that I've had for the last decade and just realize, how did I do that? Because even though on paper this season didn't look great, there were a few stretches there where I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a run back, and then I'd hit a bad pair or I'd lose a little concentration, and then I'd just fall back to the middle of the pack a little bit. So it was a disappointing run, but it certainly has motivated me to understand that nothing is guaranteed. You cannot take anything for granted, no matter your track record or how good you think you might be. So it's certainly lit a little fire underneath me, and I'm excited to get back to the tour. It was a really difficult season, not just because of results, but this was the first time in my career that I spent a considerable time away from home in a row. So normally I try to make it 3 or 4 weeks as a maximum, and then get to go home for a few weeks and recharge, see the family, be a part of of all of the things that are happening here at home. But this time it was 4 months away, and every week that went on, it got a little harder and a little harder. And then obviously the last, few weeks we had some major championships, and I was so ready to come home. My wife was pregnant. She was looking after 3 kids. She is a registered nurse, so she was working, and there was just so much that I felt quite helpless while I was overseas. So it definitely was a learning experience. I don't think I'll ever want to do that again, the 4 months away in one stint. But I think, if anything, it certainly taught me a lot about respecting time and valuing it when you are home, and understanding that, hey, tomorrow I might be requested to be away again for months at a time. And I'm going to utilize the time that I have here as best as I possibly can, because you just don't know what's going to be around the corner. But overall, like I said, I'm super, super positive about getting back into the swing of things, finding my form where it's been the last decade, and certainly kind of putting my foot and my stamp back on the PBA tour.
Yeah, it must have been a struggle to be away from your family and to struggle on the lanes too. So it almost felt like no matter where you turned, you couldn't get like any satisfaction from it, like a lose-lose situation almost.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think a lot of people, and fans in particular, overlook is when you're an athlete and you're in an individual sport, you don't have anyone who's there to support you, right? Like when things are going great, you can't really share it with anyone because they're your competitors.
Yep.
They don't want you to win, so they're not happy for you. And then when you're doing bad, they don't want to be the mate that you can talk about it and get it off your chest and work through it, because they don't want you to bowl well. So, that time that you come home, and even for my competitors who are American based, that time that you get to spend at home is your chance to share in great bowling, get support through the rough times. And when you're away for 4 months and you don't have that, and in particular when you've had a lot of success, and then you aren't having success, everyone's kind of, they want to kick the dog while he's down. And that was another thing that was really difficult, was trying to overcome some of those difficult moments while on FaceTime and your internet connection isn't great, or, you're staying up to 2 a.m. because of the time zone difference to have those conversations and to see your family, and you're exhausted and you just want to get to sleep because you got another big day of bowling the next day. So all of these little lessons that you learn during a long stint away is something that I've certainly understood better now. And I think if I have to do it again, I'll certainly be better prepared and understand it better. But this time around, it was really, really difficult, and especially when your children are of an age now where they're old enough to understand missing you. And, they are doing so many cool things, from sporting activities to, singing concerts to birthdays that I missed. I mean, all of these things, and Dad's not there, and then they're able to actually say, "Hey, I really missed you, Dad." Man, I tell you what, it hits you right in the heart, pretty hard.
Sure.
Yeah, we got that.
Well, Kevin said you should scratch some points.
Yeah, Hugo.
Because we've been watching Hugo bowl now.
Yeah, he's getting really, really good. And, I am a firm believer there is no one in the world that has bowled more than me. I feel like my entire life has been in a bowling center. But I'll tell you, if there's someone that's going to break my record, it'll be Hugo. He wants to go bowling every single chance that he can. And it's so awesome to be able to share in that, because it's something that I haven't pushed on him. Like my daughters, they both love bowling, but they aren't in love with bowling. So I'm not one to be the dad to push anyone in any direction. So to have him come up to me and go, "Oh, today's league day, and then I want to join another league, and then can I go practice, and can I stay for training?" So after league, we have training sessions, and it's like pulling teeth if I have to ask him to leave it early, or if we have other plans and we can't go. It just, you can see how miserable he gets for that moment. And I'm like, oh, I love it. At the same time, You know, it's difficult to keep up with you, bro. You've got sisters and you've got other things that I got to look after as well.
Yeah, almost like a Kyle Troop. Maybe you got a future Kyle Troop. He took after his dad, right? Guppy, and then Kyle.
There's a lot of father sons, mother daughters, brothers who have grown up and who have, you know, joined. I think the most famous, obviously, is Pete Weber. You know, you're talking about Dick and Pete, and it's not something that I'm expecting from Hugo. I've said to him and everyone else, like, we'll go as far as you want to go, mate. If you want to go to the top, well, I'll help you as best as I possibly can. But if when he's 15 or 16 and he says, you know what, I really feel like this is what I want to do for a career, where I'm not going to be that dad that just says, no, you're not going to university. You're going to bowl every day. This is your life now.
That's good. That's the right thing to do, though. That's great. That's great.
So I would imagine you had, before the pandemic, you had plans to get into the season and, you know, continue doing what you've been doing, dominate, destroy the competition. And here we are, boom, shut down, and now from afar, you're watching the season go down. And I can't imagine what it's like in your mind to watch this, knowing, man, I should be there. I should be there right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they were happy that you weren't, but at the same time, for you, you know, how do you compact that? How do you come to terms? It's got to be hard to come to terms with that and realize, hey, you know, I can't be there for the right reasons, but it's definitely difficult.
Yeah, well, I'll let you in on a little secret, and this has me been very transparent and honest. It's one of the most complicated emotional feelings that I have. As soon as I get in my car to leave for the airport to compete, I really miss home. Like, I mean, immediately, the moment I get in the car, I'm just like, oh man, maybe I should stay home. But then if I'm home for a little while, I miss bowling so much that I'm itching to get away again. And it's a vicious cycle. I can't seem to find a way where I'm both really excited to compete and also leave home. Like, it doesn't work like that. So when I see the PBA Tour and, you know, tour finals and playoffs, all these things that I've been able to qualify for and not be able to compete, you're on that very weird two sides of the coin where you're like, oh, I'm so happy I get to be home and I'm not over there. And then the very next thought is, but I wish I was, because I miss competing and I want to win titles and I want that experience on TV, because it's unlike any other experience, bowling under the lights. So it's complicated, you know, and I think sometimes I get a little bit sometimes I can be a little bit difficult to be around because I'm a little bit confusing. You know, I'll be super happy that I'm watching my kids play soccer, and then the afternoon I'll be like seeing something on Facebook where someone's won a tournament that I should have been at, and I'm like, it could have been me. You know, and it's so hard to juggle those emotions, and I'm getting better at it. I must admit, I certainly am. I mean, this time it's so much easier to handle it because I'm expecting a fourth child. So there's a really big moment that I'm excited to I'm looking forward to. But on a normal break, it's difficult, man. I hate, especially when you see like the 5 top names are like Anthony Simonson, EJ Tackett, Carl Troop, and you're like, oh, cool. The lanes played really well for the guys that curve it a little bit. I probably would have done all right. It's a lot better when I wake up and I see, you know, I see Norm Duke, and I see guys who play the lanes really straight, just dominating. I'm like, it's a good one to miss. I'm glad I missed that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, did you find yourself, if you were actually watching, did you kind of find yourself saying, I wouldn't have played that line, or I would have been a little left, or I would have been a little right, or maybe I would have used this ball and not necessarily that? Say if you were watching someone like, say, I don't know, Kyle. Say if you were watching someone with the two hands, someone like, say, Kyle Troop.
Yeah, I'm not really judgmental like that. I don't never put myself in their shoes and say, oh, well, I would have done it this way. I think I'm just a fan of bowling. So like when I'm home, I do watch it. I watch the PBA Tour. I watch the PWBA Tour. I watch whatever's going on. I really am a fan of bowling. And usually what happens is there'll be like maybe a specific moment something happens and I will be like, oh, that was an interesting choice. I'm not sure I would have made that one, but whether it works or not, I know every player has their own strategies for whatever it is. But you know, there's always like, especially when you see someone leave a split, you're thinking, are they gonna go for it or are they gonna take the count? And those are the types of moments where you start to wonder, well, what would you have done? You know, if you're leading the match by 10, coming into the 9th frame, and you leave a split, are you going for it to shut them out, or are you gonna take the count and just see what happens? So those are the types of thoughts that I have. But yeah, I'm very, very not judgmental in it, because I've been there. Like, I'm sure 1,000 people have seen me throw a ball and go, why would he throw that ball playing that part of the lane? And at the time, I thought I was a genius. Like, this makes perfect sense. You know, and then you throw it and you miss the head pin. You're like, oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
So is your wife your psychiatrist?
Is my wife what?
You're a psychiatrist?
I think all wives are husband psychiatrists. You know, I feel like it doesn't really matter what you do for a living. But the one thing that I think Kimberly has really understood and helped me understand is bowling, I guess, like many other sports as well, especially individual. And I've been fortunate to have as much success as I've had, and I still feel this way, is there are just so many more downs than there are ups. And something that I'll never forget is I remember having this kind of an epiphany moment when, you know, I hadn't bowled well for a couple of events and I was really down on myself. And, you know, Kimberly was trying to explain to me, like, you know, bowling, it's so hard, Jace. Like, it's so hard and you've had so much success, but you're going to lose so many more than you will win. And then I started thinking, you know, Walter Ray Williams Jr. is the greatest player to ever lace them up, and he's won the most. And I would look at his career and say, that's a career that it's impossible to replicate. It's just incredible. 47 wins, I think 7 major championships. It's just outrageous. And I would never look at Walter and say, man, you suck, right? Ever. It doesn't matter when he's bowled or what he's bowled. I will never say that. And yet you realize he's won 47 times on the national tour, but he's competed in 1,000 events. Yep. And then that really puts it into perspective of, like, he has lost 953 times. Right? And then that really just you understand the scope of it. And then as soon as you allow yourself to be like, okay, well, if I'm going to play 1,000 events, and right now I have 25 titles, it's okay to lose 900, because the person who you consider the greatest has lost over 900 times. So it's going to be okay. And I think once that happened, I really realized it is a part, and this season is a part of that. It's understanding that whilst I've had such a great 10 years prior to this season, I'm going to have many more events moving forward, and it's okay to lose some of them, because this is the game we play. It's impossible to win them all. You've got to be able to stay positive. And thinking about Walter losing 900 times just makes me feel better.
It's funny that you talk about being accepting and kind of managing that mental game with so many exceptionally physically talented players on the tour. What do you think makes you able to have such success over such a long period of time? What kind of sets you apart?
I think there's a massive learning curve, and whether you have success really quickly, which I was fortunate enough that in my first year, my rookie year, I was able to win a title. But then the following season, I didn't win in 2000. I don't remember what year that was now. It was a while ago. But the following season, I didn't win. And then I've had a pretty steady win rate. And now it's another year without a win. You have to understand that there are going to be moments in which you're learning from. And if you're somebody like me that had success, it will come. You will find the brick wall that you will hit. It's inevitable. Some players start off by hitting that brick wall first. So your head and what goes through your mind the number one thing that I feel like I've been able to be, and pretty much a lot of the champions that I see, is there is never a doubt in my mind I'm going to win. There's just so much self-belief, so much positive thinking. And as soon as you fall into the trap of, I'm not good enough, I don't think I can win, it's just too hard, essentially that tournament is going to be a bad event. You know, it's just not going to pan out the way that you want it to. And hoping that you catch every single break and you get lucky to get your first title, it just doesn't happen. You can get lucky to win in one shot where you need a strike and it's not your best shot and all the pins fall over and well done, you now win. But to get to that moment, there's no luck. It's just let me rephrase that. It's 99% skill and talent and hard work, and there is always 1% where you do catch that break to keep the string alive, but you're just not getting there purely on luck. So if anyone's watching and you're having those moments where, or a season or multiple seasons, and you're just thinking to yourself, this isn't going to work out, I don't think I can get there, then my advice is, if that's the way that you're going to think for the rest of your career, it's best to hang the laces up now and don't torture yourself anymore. But if you want to turn it around, you're going to have to be able to convince yourself through hard work, positive thinking, that you're deserving. And if you want it enough, you'll find ways to work hard enough to make changes and to get better. And like I said, you'll play 1,000 events in your career. And, you know, Walter's won 47, which is the most ever. But to think that you can't win 1 out of 1,000, if you truly believe in yourself, then, like I said, don't show up. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your anguish.
Right. It's kind of like that quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yeah. So it's whatever you truly believe about yourself, you kind of make that come to fruition.
Yeah, and, you know, a lot of people will hear it from other people too. A lot of people will say, this thing isn't really working out for you, is it? Or, you know, why aren't you winning? Like, maybe you're not good at it. You'll hear so many things. It's maybe not direct quotes like that, but you will get the feeling when you're talking to someone and it's just not, it's not positive. It's not pushing you towards a goal or a dream that you have. And that's even harder to handle, because not only do you have self-doubt, but now you're starting to feel and hear doubt from those around you. And then it's almost compounds your own self-doubt. So you have to be incredibly strong to be able to, whether you hear it or not, but if you do, to be able to say, I don't care. And that's actually what this hoodie is really all about. This collaboration that I did with Coolwick was, I must get anywhere between like 20 or 30 emails every few weeks that say exactly this. You know, my coach doesn't think I'm any good with 2 hands, or, you know, I have these bowlers in my league that tease me because I'm not as good as them. It's something along those lines. And I remember saying to the guys at Coolwick, I'm like, I'm just tired of other people telling other people that they can't do it. I mean, it's not right. It's your opinion is
your
stupid. But it's stupid because you're not in control of that human being and what they're willing to sacrifice or dedicate themselves. You have no idea their capabilities. So just saying those things, it just bothered me. And I'm like, you know what? If you're hearing them, prove them wrong. You know, wake up in the morning, put on your training shoes, work extra hard. And every single person in my career, and I heard a lot of it, and still hear it. I mean, it doesn't matter how much success you have, you're still going to hear it. And I'm like, you know what? This is a message for you that don't believe in me or didn't think I was capable. And I want other people to grow up and to have that sense of self-belief. And it starts with you looking in the mirror saying, let's do this.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes, you reserve the right to be wrong.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we all, and you know, I'm hearing this, Jason, you should have penned a book, or you still could pen a book.
Oh, I think you should.
Because we've all had this year, 18 months, whatever much time it was for everybody individually, or still, I mean, lots of time for reflection. on oneself, on what's happening around us.
Yeah.
And so, when life gets picked up and thrown in all sorts of directions, we talked about it before we were offline. I mean, you just don't know, but we've all in our own way, and you're hearing it here from Jason's perspective, which is.
Yeah, and I want to really make this point. Like, I'm not saying it's easy. Like, I'm not saying that through a pandemic, through the bricks in the wall in your career or in your job, it doesn't even have to be bowling. It could be anything. It could be any path that you're trying to get to. I'm not saying that, you just look in the mirror and say, let's do this, and then all of a sudden it happens. I'm saying that if you don't start there and then you don't follow it with true dedication, passion, and hard work, then it's very unlikely, very, very unlikely that it will just fall into place naturally. And there's a friend of mine that has, had a really rough pandemic emotionally, and they've been able to create something and build something. And I don't want to give it away. I don't want to say what's going on because it's not my place and not my right. But one of the things that I really was inspired of all of this was it was one of the darkest times in this person's life through the pandemic. And instead of digging the hole deeper and deeper, they decided, I'm going to start to climb out of the hole and into the light a little bit more. And there's millions of people that are feeling like that. Again, not just because of a pandemic, but certainly highlighted because of the pandemic. And that's when we need to be showing a lot more empathy and sympathy and support for those around us. And it can be as simple as saying, I think you can do it. It's just a simple phrase, I think you can do it. And all of a sudden now it gives that person a little bump and a little push. And then all of a sudden they start thinking, maybe I can do it. And I don't know, everyone's life is a lot happier that way.
Yeah, there's too many negative Nancy's around. We don't need all that, right? You need the positive thinking. Think about what you can do. Think about what you can do rather than what you don't think you can do. Stay positive.
Absolutely. Like, you look at all of those New York Knicks supporters out there, so much positive thinking, right? So much faith and will. I mean, it's not going to help them this year, but you don't know. You don't know where it can take the team if all the fans send their positive thoughts. So
there's 4 wins. They got 3. They still have to win 1 more.
Listen, I am a huge fan of the Knicks franchise. I think it's an awesome franchise. And to be fair, there wouldn't be a stadium like Madison Square Garden anywhere else in the world, like, to play in that arena. And basketball needs a good New York franchise that isn't Brooklyn. That isn't Brooklyn. So I'm hoping you guys find 3 wins. That'll be pretty dope. Otherwise, next year. But I'm a huge LeBron fan. So if you come up against the Lakers, and I'm a big Ben Simmons fan because he's Australian. So I'm hoping for an LA Lakers and 76ers finals. That would be dope.
Listen, it's possible. It can happen. It can happen. Unless the Knicks get in there and kind of spoil the works. But we need a minor miracle right now. But well, I'm dreaming.
Yeah, everything that I just said about being positive and saying, ignore that when regarding the Knicks this season. Okay? It's just not going to happen this year.
I'm just kidding. I'm a Mets fan, so we certainly understand.
Long-suffering Mets fan. But we're on top of the hill right now. We're very happy. We're very happy.
Special hello to Ann, who's bowling now. Always dedicated.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of questions here. But do you have your mind set on the first event that the next event that you're going to be coming back for? Is that in your head? Do you have a goal ready to get running and rolling?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, not in the immediate future. I'm really taking a lot of time off right now. I mean, I'll bowl with Hugo, or I'll go to the bowl with Hugo and watch Aria and Hugo, who bowl league together on Mondays and Wednesdays, and Hugo will do training, and I'll be a part of that somehow, whether it's actually putting the shoes on myself and bowling with him and the other kids and kind of been a part of that training session, or if it's just me and Hugo. But I really just wanted to shut it down and not really focus on too much until the baby's born. And then after the baby's born and, it's crying every 2 hours, that might be a really good opportunity for me to be like, oh, the baby's crying. I'm going to go and train for a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But there will be a moment later in the year where I certainly will ramp up my training. And I don't know when I'm traveling next. I mean, it's really difficult right now because Australia has very strict quarantine and isolation rules. But I know if the event is worth it, then I need to be as prepared as possible. So as soon as Bob joins us into the world, and I get an opportunity to spend some time, a lot of time with the new baby, then I'll be able to say, right, I think it's time now to really start working on my training on the lanes. And I've been working a lot more off the lanes, to be honest, a lot more fitness, a lot more training. It's, every day, sometimes twice a day. So, the idea of coming back next season, it's really exciting, but I want to be as physically and mentally prepared for it as I possibly can. And just like we've been talking about, it starts now. It starts with me looking in the mirror every day saying, all right, how much do you want this? Let's put on the training shoes and let's go for those runs and let's get fit.
You couldn't say it any better, because I think most people just have this perception, he's Jason Belmonte, he's just going to get out there. He can just lace up and go bold. And it's not true. And so you've got to prepare. I mean, and it's mental preparedness, physical. I mean, it's the whole thing.
The whole ball,
especially after all this time. So
there's a really cool image. There's a really cool image I saw a long time ago, and it's two pictures side by side in a square. And the first one has how other people see your success, and it's a line from 0 to 100, and it's a perfectly straight, beautiful line, and that's how everybody perceives another individual's success, that it was just an easy ride all the way to the top. And then next to it, it has how it really is, and it's this squiggly line that goes up and down and around, and that's about as true as it can possibly get. It's I don't know anyone who has had a successful career in anything and it just be, I wake up in the morning and it's so easy and I don't have to do anything, and it just, the ball keeps going in the hoop and the ball keeps striking and the ball keeps going down the middle of the fairway. I don't have to do anything. It's just unrealistic to think that if it hasn't happened in the history of humankind, why would it happen to you?
Now,
right? So you probably need to do what everyone else has done, and that's, work hard.
Yeah. And the ladies are bowling now. So you touched on a little bit about watching the ladies. So Kevin Rourke has a question.
Kevin Rourke has a very good question. He wants to know, who do you enjoy most on the PWBA tour? Who are some of the women that you really enjoy watching?
That's a really good question. I'll give you a few. So sure. I love watching players like Liz Johnson. I think, just execution-wise, really level-headed. She's the GOAT. I know our games are complete polar opposites, but just watching how she does her craft, then listen, for someone who has such limitations in the ability to create rev rate and shape the lanes, the parts of the lane that she still wants to play and strike, it's outrageously fun to watch. So I enjoy watching Liz. I think some of the younger players that are coming through now, that Stephanie, and forgive me, her last name escapes me, and it's a little tricky to pronounce anyway, so I would have butchered it, but she just recently won. I saw her throw the ball a few times, and I'm like, wow, that's really, really impressive. I really enjoy seeing the way that ball goes down. She's going to be a superstar. I love watching girls with rev rates. So you've got the Daria Payak, Sandra Gongoras. You've got Brianna Clemmer. I think Brianna Clemmer is a new girl that just absolutely straps on the ball. Love it. Jordan Richard is another girl that I enjoy watching. So there's a few of them. Yeah. I like to support my friends. So you got Deandra and Clara and who else? There's Stephanie, Shannon. Look, like I said, I'm a fan of bowling. So when it's on and I've got Bowl TV, I'm going through the pairs, and I'll just stop occasionally, watch a few frames, and then I'll go to the next one and just kind of repeat that process for a little while.
Nice.
Stephanie Zavala, I believe is that how she said Zavala?
Zavala.
Yeah. See, you read it and you still butchered it. So you know.
Yeah, and she bowled this. She won in Farmingdale Lanes in Long Island.
She won out here all right on there.
Yeah, she bowled great. She bowled really, really well.
Yep. It's been fun to watch the ladies.
Yeah.
Our very own. See now, Ronnie, you typing it into the chat doesn't help our pronunciation.
Well,
oh, let me tell you another bowler on the ladies tour that I'm super excited to watch. I've been a huge fan of Gillian Martin for about 4 or 5 years. I saw her bowl in a Storm Youth Championships, and then I saw her bowl in an Elite Youth Tour event when she was just a pup. She was like 12 or 13. And I said to her then, I said, listen, I don't know what you want to do with your bowling career, but I'm telling you, you're going to be the best in the world. If you just keep doing whatever it is that you're doing and just keep adding to it, you're going to be the best in the world. So watching her in Arlington earlier this year where she made a show and she nearly won her first title, then watching her compete at the Masters and the US Open this year, I mean, I don't know. She's a really special talent, and she's got a brilliant sense of humor. When I was in quarantine, I did a let me roast you. So people sent me videos, and then I would roast them back. I was bored in quarantine, and I had nothing better to do. So, and you know, the more I know somebody and the better that they are, the harder I tried to roast them, the more mean I was trying to be because I just respected them so much. So she sent me a video and I said, okay, let's see what I can do. And I was not nice at all. And I got a message from her and my heart jumped. I'm like, oh no, she's about to tell me she absolutely hates me and how could I be so cruel? And the message back was, I haven't stopped laughing. That is so funny. You're the best. Thank you for roasting me. And then I just wrote back, if you weren't my favorite already, you are for sure now. The fact that you've got a good sense of humor makes it even better.
Awesome. She really is going to be amazing to watch as she...
Very talented.
Yeah,
very talented. It's nice to see more power players on the ladies' side. Obviously, we're seeing more and more of it on the men's side with the two-handers, but there are some young women coming up that are amazing, really, truly amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Using a video.
Yeah.
What's that?
One of our friends wants to be, he is wishing that you were able to roast him. So we're telling him, send a video.
Mike, I don't need to roast Mike. Everyone's doing it behind his back already, so it's fine. We're good.
Well, right off the bat. That's a good one.
That's true. You know, he did so instead of sending food of your awful photos like Gordon Ramsay goes after people. Belmo, that's hysterical. Hey, a question from Donna Russo. What advice would you give to, in addition to the amazing advice that you just gave, that could be used for anyone, and especially our junior bowlers are gearing up for junior golds this summer. Advice to junior bowlers: how hard and easy it is to coach your son. Oh wow, this is two totally different questions. So first, advice, and then you see the second part of this question: how hard or easy is it to coach your children, so to speak, separating coach from dad, because that cannot be easy. Based on what you shared with Hugo.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what makes that even harder is when you can do it yourself, right? That makes it even more frustrating when you're trying to coach somebody, when you're explaining, hey, let's just change our hand position to this. And, you know, that'll be a lot more consistent. And, you know, he hasn't learnt that skill and you're watching it 50 times doing it wrong. And you're like, but it's so easy. I can do that with my eyes closed. So the trick is remembering how you were. And when you're learning something new, understanding that everyone has their own time, right? Like some are going to get it really quick And there are some things that Hugo in particular will pick up like the first time, gets it, understands it, does it, and I'm really impressed and proud. And then there are other times where it takes him a while, and then I have to look back and say, yeah, but there was a time when you didn't get it either. And I'm sure you were as frustrating to watch as maybe Hugo is for you now. And it's been super patient. Like if you are not a and I'm not a patient person, but I'm working so hard at being patient. But if you are not a patient person and you cannot control it and you just will never be patient, then it is brutal. And you're going to make things 1,000 times worse. You really are, as a parent, trying to push your kid or make them do something or get mad and frustrated because they're not doing it. It's not healthy. It doesn't make them better. They don't all of a sudden be able to do it just because you lose your mind and now they can do it. It's a process. So the lesson or the advice I would give to students, coaches, parents that are coaches, kids who have parents that are coaches, is it's a two-way street of patience. You have to be able to be patient on the things you're learning to know that it's a process. And when it clicks for you, it'll click whenever that is. And as the parent/coach, understanding that same timeline. Maybe it's quickly, maybe it's a long time. Whenever it is, you've got to hang in there. And just as long as you think you're building a platform to grow on, to get better, then whether it takes 1 session or 50 sessions, knowing that the end result is what's going to really matter. And to be honest, the times that Hugo will do something after 50 attempts and then that 51st attempt, he does it, it's a really joyful moment. It's like, dude, you've been trying for so long and now you get it. Now you got it. Now you can repeat it. Like, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. It is a really, really awesome moment. So there are times, I say it to him now when he's like, so we're working right now. He's a really good spare shooter from the 6-pin across. The 10-pin he struggles with. And it's just because his ball speed isn't high enough and he still creates a little rotation. So he'll make, maybe 2 out of 10 pins. And we're working on really flattening his hand out and sparing it. And we're in the process of doing that now. And he's really struggling to just get that hand position right. And I said to him, hey, dude, remember when, we were trying, because we were also learning how to get the ball to kind of float to the front part of the lane. And I said, remember when we learned that kind of new execution where we got the ball out onto the lane instead of dropping it, and then you did it and it took forever, and we were so excited when you did it. I'm like, that's what it's going to be like when you start making 8 or 9 out of 10 pin. Like, that's the moment we're waiting for. So we're just going to work really hard, and when we get there, it's going to feel awesome. So that's, for him, he just keeps saying, yeah, I can't wait for that. Like, and every now and then he'll say, it hasn't happened yet, Dad. I'm like, I know, dude. We'll get there. He's like, well, is it going to happen soon? I'm like, I don't know, but we'll keep trying until it gets there.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah. And that is could be a tenuous relationship there. But absolutely, the patience and respect on both sides is definitely the key there. I definitely
agree. Yeah.
So I wanted, we talked about there being more power players and more two-handers kind of showing up on the PBA tour. And what do you think the future is there? Do you think that that's going to become a dominant style on the PBA tour? And do you think that could possibly change the PBA tour to a younger platform?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because we don't know. We can look at the trends and see what is happening. And from when I first came out on tour, when I first started traveling around the world, there was none of us. There was no two-handers. And you look at leagues and junior gold and all the way up to the PBA tour, and you see, in the last at least 5 years in particular, the growth rate in the style. I think what I'm seeing more and more of is it's now just become a legitimate option. And I don't know if it will become the dominant style, but what I do know is there are more and more people out there that just one-hand traditional bowling, that traditional style, it just wasn't for them, and they had no other option. And now seeing the success that I've had and the other two-handers are having on tour and around the world, it just gives them the confidence to say, well, maybe this is how I'm supposed to bowl. And it's another idea, another option. I don't believe there is one right way to do it. I don't. I don't think the game was meant to be played any one way. I feel like the game was meant to be played however it was meant to be played for you. And if that means two hands with your thumb in it, without your thumb, one hand, left hand, high rotation, low whatever it is, like that's how it's meant to be played for you. And you just do your best at becoming the best that you can for you. And that's probably one of my biggest frustrations in listening to coaches and parents is, oh, you're not bowling the right way. You should be bowling the proper way. And I just say, well, you know, every generation can say that about the next one. Like you talk about this generation and two-handed bowling. So the previous generation says, oh, that's not how the game is supposed to be played. Well, the game before that generation was completely different as well. And then you go back again, and then that generation can say, well, why are you using two fingers and a thumb? Like we only use one finger and a thumb. That's not how the game was meant to be played. And then you go back and it's like, you know, the Egyptians are saying, you put holes in the ball? Why are you putting holes in the ball? That's not how the game was meant to be played. Like it's just it's an opinion based on your own teachings. And I understand it. I completely understand it. But I think it's time that we started to visualize the game as not about how we do it, but just how many pins are getting knocked over. And that's it. That's the game. It's not, you can have any style that you want, but at the end of the day, if I've knocked over more pins than you, I don't care how pretty you bowl. I knocked over more pins, so I win. You know, it's not like ski jumping where you get points for technique and there's a set of rules. You know, we haven't come up with that. I hope we never do because I'd lose a few points there. But I think it's just time that we all started to be way more accepting of individuality and just say, all right, well, if this is how you need to play, how about I do what I can to make that the best possible way for you to do it, rather than just saying we're going to scrumple that up, throw it away, and you're going to, by this book that I wrote in 1973, this is how we're going to build in 2021.
But remember, this generation is Jason Belmonte. The last generation was Mark Roth, and they had what to say about him and his delivery style. Yeah. And the next generation, you mentioned styles and getting points. My friend Tim Cagle out in California. If you ever watched him bowl, I'm sure you have. He's the one with the two hands. You don't even know how the ball got off his hands. But he just won a regional title. And Josh Blanchard posted, he goes, I even told this young man, I never believed I'd be saying this, but congratulations. But he's
and Frank, you're right. Like it's you can have an opinion on whether you like it, right? A subjective view, like, oh, I don't like the way he or she bowls, right? It doesn't look comfortable, it doesn't look pretty. I don't like it, and that's fine. Like you can absolutely have that opinion, and you're right because it's your subjective feeling towards it. But to say that it's wrong, that's where I get a little bit, annoyed, because I'm like, first off, until the person who actually created the game of bowling comes down and says, hey, this is actually my game. I invented it, and this is how I want it to be played, then we're in the midst of allowing individuality to create any way that we want to throw the ball. I do think that there needs to be, I guess, a square of, you can't use devices to throw a ball. Like there needs to be some rules and aspects. But as far as I'm concerned, stay behind the foul line, use the body that you were given at birth, and however you choose to use that. Tim is a great example. That's how he chooses to throw the ball. Good for him. Do I think it's pretty and do I like it? No. It wouldn't be how I would want to bowl. Do I respect that he's managed to repeat that as well as he can? Absolutely. And I bet you could probably ask Tim and he'd probably say, I don't think I look pretty either, but this is how I bowl. And I got pretty good at it. So screw you guys. I'm going to win my regional titles and I'm going to make my money. And you guys can, finish last again.
and I'm not going home.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, for the sake of time, before you go,
I just had one.
Okay,
one quick question.
Let's get the word first.
Go ahead.
And then you
get the word.
For the Watch and Win contest at the home, you have a chance to win a Storm Bowling prize pack, a Brandon Bowling Ball. But you need a secret word. Jason, what is that secret word?
Is it just one word, or can it be? Can it be like three? Right?
It could be a phrase if you like.
It could be a short phrase. Yeah, it could be a short.
Okay, so what if we said "prove them wrong"? That's the secret word / phrase.
So we've changed it from a word to a phrase. I like it. Hey, speaking of, there was a question in the comments. Ken, are those for? Is Cool Wick selling those hoodies?
These hoodies were limited edition. They were only available for, I think we had them online for 3 or 4 days. So these ones are out of stock. They're all sold out. But if you follow me, Cool Wick, on social media, I'm always planning on doing drops. And this is, I had an inverted color. So this is the black with the off-white. I had an off-white with the black. And I'm absolutely positive we'll be using this phrase for more drops in the future. So if you missed out on these ones, make sure you don't miss out. They sell out really, really quick. I was actually pleasantly shocked at how quick some of these things were selling out. So I guess, yeah, don't miss the launches.
Awesome. Stay tuned.
So here's my question for you. Let's change the game for a minute, Jason. How's your golf game?
Oh my God, it's winter here. I haven't swung a golf club in forever. The last time I played was in the US, and I had the round of my life. So I'm really hesitant to hit a golf ball again because I feel like it could only get worse from that round of my life. So I have a couple of mates here back home that are really they're good golfers, they're good mates, they like to have a hit. We're actually trying to organize a game right now in our little group chat, but it is so cold. I kind of want to do the what's that? The golf where you hit it into the screen, the virtual golf. I'd rather just do virtual golf indoors. That'd be a lot more comfortable.
You have a lot of your country mates who are doing great things here, playing on the tour. You have Jason Day and Mark Leishman and Adam Scott. These guys have been golfing for, they have made quite a name for themselves, and they help put your country on the map in another sport. So I say,
Australia's, we're super proud of our sporting talent around the world. In terms of population, we have, I don't know, I think like just a little over 20 million. So when you're competing against countries with 300 million or 700 million, or in China's case, over 1 billion people, and we're still able to find in this more populated country of ours some really great athletes, we really get behind them. So, and I'm a huge sports fan. So whether it be Americans, except NFL, I just cannot get into the NFL. I love rugby too much, and the game is just. It's so much better. It's so much better than the NFL. So I can't watch American football and be as pumped up about it as you. I will say this, American fans are the second craziest group of fans. The most crazy are Indians from India. They are ludicrous when it comes to supporting their country, in particular cricket. But American NFL fans are a close second. It is outrageous how invested is the best way. Is invested you are in that team. Like, I love my rugby, and I've got my rugby league team that I support. And when they lose, I'm bummed, but I will never punch a wall when they lose, right? Or burn their outfits because they lost a playoff game. Like, I will never do that. No Australian I know will do that, unless they've got $10,000 riding on the game and then they lose because of a stupid play. But if it's purely because they're just upset their team lost, American NFL fans are second on the list in terms of craziness.
Yeah, well, they're very passionate, and they also bet a lot of money on the teams too. So
sure, passionate is one word, crazy is another. I get it. Yeah, they're same, but different. Yeah.
Yeah. Amen.
I like it. We have a segment on the show where we rant, and here you go. There's Jason's rant.
Jason rants.
Jason rants. Here I am. I can't help it.
Hey, Jay, thanks for dropping in with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank
you. No worries at all. It was a pleasure. And I'm hoping that when the pandemic calms down and I'm in the US and I have some time, I'd love to lace up the shoes and have a roll in your lanes. That would be, it'd be dope.
Please do. You know what? We'll make a whole day of it. We'll bowl in the day. We'll go see the Knicks at night. How about that?
I'm in. Especially if the Knicks are playing good. All right. If the Knicks are like the old Knicks from the last 5 years ago, I don't want to go see that game. We'll go watch it. We'll go watch a Yankees game. Actually, you know what? I don't want to even watch the Yankees anymore.
We'll take it. If anybody's playing, we'll make sure we get you ticket. But no, we're excited to have you come and join us when the world is unshook,
right? When the world's right again.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, everyone, asking your questions. Peace. I'm out of here.
Yeah, Jason.
Thanks, Jason Belmonte.
That was great. He is.
Thanks,
he shares the pearls of wisdom. Right. Very.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And you know, you guys in the chat have pointed out he's a great ambassador for our sport. And if you follow him on any of social media, you'll see his words.
Yep.
And even during this time, he's been as positive as could be. And you can see it. He's certainly struggling with that and doing what he can. But he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Say what you want, but he's fun to watch. And,
And you know, I especially, it's a special place in my heart because I know that he struggles. I know that on tour, because he's so successful,
a lot of pressure.
He's not really a favorite.
Yeah.
You know, and even he was one of the first dominant two-handers, and he even brought that up that you know, there were people, you know, that it's not legitimate, he's cheating, you know, so he had to overcome all of that and just, you know, be in his game. And listen, I think he's fabulous.
Yeah.
And he's so forthcoming and talking about what the last year has been like for him. Yeah. And you know, I think as for any professional to take only my daughter would ask that question. Anyway,
well, I'll have to get back to you on that, Nez.
Yes, I don't know. That's a Frankie question.
We are in the worst spot we could be in here. The lighting is certainly a problem.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is not the best. So thanks, Frank, for that. Totally confusing.
That's it. Yeah, we could certainly have him and Tim back on for 3 hours.
Yes. Yes.
Could you imagine?
And Figgy. We can we'll get him back.
There would be.
Listen,
we'll be here for 5 hours.
Yeah, if those three, if they were ever on at the same time, we could just leave. The three of us can leave.
You're right about that. Yes.
Good. Yeah.
They could all speak a lot of words.
Yeah.
Use a lot.
Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
It was really, really good.
It was.
As always,
yeah,
it's wonderful being able to showcase greats of the game.
Although I got to tell you, he did kick the Knicks down a little bit, but
when he said that it's not going to be this year.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to go out in 5-2, but I got to keep the faith, you know. But that's okay. I'll take them to a Knicks game anyway. It's okay.
So reminder chance for you to win a Storm Bowling prize pack and a brand new bowling ball. There's a link on our page. Follow it. You've got a few days to go and register. Enter the secret phrase now, not a word, secret phrase.
Secret phrase.
We will remind folks
if
that
you were watching.
If you were watching with us tonight. So thanks to Jason, Joe, Nazareth. Episode 146 in the books. Jason Belmonte came back the second time around. You never know who's going to show back up here on Live from Rams, but we will be live some point this upcoming weekend.
I have an idea.
Oh.
The steam is going to
Well,
start.
we don't have to tell the audience this.
Is it? Yeah, he wants to share it.
I think we're going to have to share it, but we have to make other things happen before we get to that
Oh,
point. So if we want to do a big to-do for episode 150,
we have to have 4 episodes first.
3 more, but then we could do it from the golf outing. Maybe a brief from the golf outing.
Oh God, Joe, you're asking for a lot.
I know I'm asking to move
There's a lot of moving parts
There's a
in that.
lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You never know.
There's a plug.
Yeah.
Yep. And perfect.
I teed it up. Get it? I teed it up.
10th annual Rag Open Memorial Strokes and Strikes golf outing, Friday, July 16th.
Yeah.
Will happen. 2020 didn't exist, so it's the 10th annual.
It's the 10th.
Number 10. It'll be a fantastic day. For those of you that have golfed before, you know the deal. It's usually sold out. I think we're already at a waiting list. Certainly looking for sponsorships, donations to help make that event make it happen.
It's Frank, all I can say, it's like a party on every hole.
Oh my God! Yes, it is. It is.
That's what she
No, but
Well,
on every golf hole.
yeah.
Anyway, yes,
Tee box.
we've got cannolis and
Espresso.
Espresso.
Cigars,
yeah.
I don't know.
We got green tea shots.
Yeah. You never know.
Everything.
We should drink. We should be drinking. This would be much more. This should be different. Continue to stay safe.
Yeah.
You know what? We're coming out of this. It's exciting.
Yeah, we're almost
And,
there. Almost there.
we'll be back at you. Hey, Nez, since you didn't get, you're gonna do it twice now. Since you didn't get to do it the other day, because you do not have to play golf. We love it. I don't play golf. We drink all.
No, you can come to the golf outing, volunteer, help us because
Donna, we have plenty of raffles too.
Yeah, we have. It really is a really fun afternoon.
Hey, Nez,
That was awesome.
what did you say?
I said that was awesome. Don't hit the button yet, Frank.
Everyone, we will see you soon. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks to Jason, Joe.
Happy to be here.
We'll see you guys soon. Good night.